Welcome to Mind Boost Moments, the podcast for people rebelling against mediocrity. I'm Caleb, and I'm here with other people who refuse to accept the soul-crushing status quo. These are the change makers, innovators, and the ones who make people leap out of bed excited to grow and become extraordinary. So join me as we explore how remarkable people transform workplaces for human potential, one conversation at a time. This is Mind Boost Moments. So I think that what a great opportunity to just have a reflection on the year and then a bit of future gazing onto what we think the digital learning landscape might look like next year. But
Good.
I mean, there's so much that we're thinking about what we do, what Mind Boost do, what we do individually, what businesses do, and then just the wider impact of technology, especially AI. I mean, so the conversation that we've just been having was about how Elon Musk has got a business, Neuralink it's called, that is developing brain to computer interfaces, which they got sign off for testing it and trialing it. But then which is why he sort of said that statement, I think in the future, the mobile phone is going to be redundant. I think like separate devices are going to be redundant, aren't they? Like, Apple Watch and all of those. If you've got an interface, and it doesn't have to be in your brain, it could just be an implant in your arm. I mean, we see all these sci-fi films, don't we, where they're implanting stuff, but that's the reality of what's going on now.
Yeah, it is. And it's scary and crazy and mad that it's actually happening all in
And
our life.
But I think that is the thing. It's happening, isn't it? It's not future gazing, really. But I think so last time we spoke, we were on about click next, which is what we detest in learning, has sort of over the last decade been replaced with scroll click.
Yeah.
And that's a place where a lot of businesses are at. Scroll click, or, some of them are still on click next. I think we're seeing an impact from AI authoring, and that could be copy creation. So AI tools are creating copy for organizations. We see AI tools for replacing graphics, videos, and we're seeing companies like Synthesia replace how to rapidly create avatar-led videos as well. So they've been around for some time to go, this is a text, convert it to speech, and lo and behold, I've got someone that looks like they're talking and saying it and leading you down there. We're in a place where we look at that and go, oh, okay, it's not perfect. And we've had many a conversation that companies go, well, good enough is good enough for us. And I think we're still looking at, but it's not pixel perfect. And I don't know if that's unrealistic these days, that people go, we're not after pixel perfect, we're after just good enough.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this year's been tough for everybody, financial stuff, and that's obviously impacted everyone in every way. And we've definitely seen it with the rise of AI, out the box learning, rapid development, and just clients and people going, look, it's good enough. I haven't got the budget to create some really nice bespoke stuff. And obviously AI has grown leaps and bounds, literally from like trying to think where it was at the start of this year to where it is now is crazy. And it's only going to get better exponentially. But obviously those early adopters of kind of this rapid development, is like you say, it's not great. What's going to happen next year?
Do you think that's part of the fun, though, for internal organizations, is that so if you've got a passion for technology, a bit like us, but you're
Mm.
working internal, and you might recognize that you're not the expert of everything, but you've got a passion for technology. I guess trying some of it and it not being perfect is still part of the fun, though, isn't it? It's like, oh,
Oh,
look what I've done.
100%. And I mean,
Yeah,
this is my age old thing. What I keep on saying, like, we all love to learn. So that, I mean,
yeah,
that's the case in point is like someone's there going, oh, I'm learning how to utilize AI to create
yeah,
stuff. And yeah, it is a very handy tool for that. I use it. I know at the start of this year, I was quite anti it, but I now recognize it as a very useful tool. I think we've all kind of not necessarily done a flip flop, but look, it is really quite good. And yeah, I'm the same. I'm having to learn it rapidly and seeing where it can take it. And I think that's where we're going to go next year is that realization of out the box learning isn't great. It wants to be more tailored to the user.
yeah,
And how we used to do it or how we do it is obviously through years of experience, research, and everything like that. And I think with the growth of AI getting better and better, that will provide a new way of doing that, be it,
yeah,
like you mentioned, a kind of AI personal assistant or personal tutor. Um, yeah, more AI driven learning programs and possibly AI created content,
yeah.
but done by creatives and designers to
Because what I've
make.
been thinking as well is based on our chat earlier is like, so at a platform level, personalized learning isn't anything new. So we used to call it machine learning, and it used to, check patterns to go, oh, that person has clicked that, has liked that, has watched that, and therefore we'll serve this content to them. And like with AI, it's only getting quicker, better, more specific, but it's still fundamentally on a platform level doing much the same. It's going,
Yeah,
and you see it on Google and ads, it knows, what you likes. I mean, Amazon have been doing it for years, right? What you like, what it thinks you like, and it's preempting what to serve to you. But the stuff behind that is still generic, and it's still generic in terms of learning content as well.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
it all boils
so
down.
so what you might end up with is a really tailored platform that says, right, we know what you like, where you're based, what role you're doing, all of that lovely stuff, and we're going to refine the generic content. So this thousand courses, we've refined it down to 5 courses because that's your role, that's what you like, that's what you've been doing. But those 5 courses, in terms of content, is still generic. So the next sort of killer iteration would be, what about if you'd been doing all of this work and it knew that you wanted to do some more learning on UX, you clicked on that learning and that was really tailored for you. So it opened up a video and it said, oh, hello, Owen, I see that your background is X, Y, and Z. So I think this amount of information is just right for you. The person sitting next to you that's also got an interest in UX, they click on the same link, but their actual content is very different from yours because it goes, hello, Caleb. Like
Yeah,
your journey is a little bit different. I know that you're not a designer by trade, so I'm not going to, show you this stuff. But that would be like really interesting for businesses, wouldn't it? How do you really tailor content at the point of need?
yeah. And I think that's where it will probably go. I think, like I said, just having that personal tutor and yeah, like you said, of them going, oh, I think you'd find this video interesting for you. This will really help you understand it. Um, or it might be like, I know the type of learning you like to do. You like to read and digest instead of watch a video, then
Yeah.
present that or distill that video or that information. And I mean, goodness, like it'd be mad at some point at the speed of AI, if it could just take the subject matter and then in an instant provide a variety of ways to show it. So like
But it
it
can now, can't it?
can have, or wait a second, I've distilled this and I've created a short intro, a short animation or video
Yeah,
explaining this.
yeah. I think all of that stuff is possible. It's just it's
It's all
in
possible with
pockets. It's in
human.
pockets at the minute.
Yeah, that's it, with human involvement. And I think, yeah, there will be a point where it can cut out basically us being the prompt writers, which is the
Yeah,
thing.
because I mean, at the minute, I'm using a combination of something called GenSpark, which uses a lot of Anthropic and Claude in the background, and that does some coding, but it also, it's like an AI workspace where you can do image stuff and it leans into VO for videos. But like on a personal basis, I generally use Gemini. But I mean, that's getting better and better. You can have a full blown conversation, and Gemini still gets it wrong, right? But I've been watching a few programs on the telly, like history programs. I wanted to learn about history. And you start asking it, and you feel like you're having a conversation with someone. So, why don't we, why aren't organizations just going, if we implemented Gemini AI,
Mm.
someone could get the answers that they need at the time that they needed. Like this is the age old story of people say, "Oh, we're doing learning in the flow of work." Right? Hold on a second. You're just trying to. I'm not sure that's really happening. Learning in the flow of work. If you had Gemini and said, "Hold on a second, I'm doing this spreadsheet. Can you look at it, or what's the way to do it?" and it does it, that seems to me like you're learning in the flow of work. You're getting answers in the flow of work. Why don't we just have Gemini in a business workplace? What's to stop that happening?
There's not, and that's, I mean, look, that's a wider point or issue. Again, I saw this on a podcast the other day. They were talking about that, how the introduction of AI, and it's happened like in their example, they talked about a calculator, and when the calculator came around, you stopped having to learn how to do arithmetic because you're like,
Yeah.
right, calculator.
Yeah.
And similar thing of like, okay, why do I need to learn about certain subject matter where I can just ask Gemini, tell
Yeah.
me this, how do I fix that? Again, I mean, there's so many out there, but I saw another video of, yeah, I think Gemini telling a guy how to replace an oil filter on his car and showing him step by step, highlight, because he had it on his video and it was
Yeah.
highlighting the areas in his specific model of car, what to do and everything like that. And yeah, what that means for us is a scary thought. I mean, hopefully we will utilize our spare cognitive functions to, I don't know, be more expressive. And yeah, I don't know, I mean, that's a big, wider thought.
But
And having a child, I'm very wary of what the future holds for her, because I think the job as we know it on the job market, I mean, we feel it already is changing. In 20 years' time, what on earth will that be like?
I mean, and you're right, because so when you think about, I've constantly said for months and months, years, about the human superpower, which is like thinking randomly and being creative and having those engaging conversations. But we are seeing the likes of, Gemini, which is AI, can hold a conversation, can have, a joke as well. And like looking at 11 Labs as well, their voice models, you'd know no different from a human as well, and the speed of the response and the type of responses. So that's being eaten into. In terms of creativeness, when you look at Nano Banana, you put in a prompt as creative as you want, and it will come back with something really creative as well.
All within predefined elements in terms of what it knows. Like
But
you
is
said,
that human controlled, those predefined railguards?
well, as it gains more information and knowledge, I mean, that's it. I think like you said, it's fundamentally human. We can just have like some real abstract ideas and thoughts sometimes and creativity,
Yeah.
and that's what makes us. I don't think AI will change that. And that's what I mentioned before about with how AI is now, creativity and expressions, that's what we will kind of be focusing on, I think. Um, because yeah, AI can do the mundane stuff, the kind of out of the box stuff, like you say. Out generally now, like going into the future, it'll just create the
I,
learning content you need or anything.
I'm gonna chuck in a grenade because
Yeah,
you've just got my head in overdrive here. I think that's human controlled. I think there's something in the human behaviour that says we want to use AI because we can see the power of it, but we only want to use it within our control. So we'll put these guardrails around it so it doesn't get out of control and minimise the impact on the world. I think that's
you'd hope
human
so. You'd
controlled.
hope so, but there's all that conspiracy talk
Uh,
of 2027, isn't it, where AI will reach that next stage of.
Well, yeah, it's like super general intelligence, where it's more intelligent than humans are, and therefore we're at risk of not becoming the dominant species. Listen, don't get me on that.
We're only going to talk about learning next year. We're going down dystopian Terminator style future.
Well, that's human created, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's gonna be the rise of the robots. But actually, I think this is a struggle with humanity going, we are quickly recognizing we might not be the alpha species here, and the superhuman intelligence, artificial intelligence is taking over that. Because you think creativity, like you put in a most abstract prompt into Nano Banana or VO to create a weird video, and that will ultimately break the mechanics of how things work. So it will do these things morphing into things and things coming in through the wall, and humans will go, oh, that's absolutely not possible. And we start thinking too close-minded. Right, what if it's possible? Whereas AI at the minute is thinking, oh, I'm just going to do this. I'll morph that into that and it will come out of something mad, even though, it's not really possible. And so you then start thinking, like, if it shows you stuff like that, it's got the capacity to think like that as well. And the limiting factor then is humans going, don't think like that because it's not real. Like, hold on a second. Let's imagine that it could be real. Imagine like these things happen. So I think, yeah, we're still in, even though it feels like things are moving so fast, we're actually making baby steps as far as humans are concerned for a reason. Let's control things. Let's, take things slow. That's the human response, isn't it? Let's slow things down. Let's make it, yeah, calm down. What's the fuss? Like,
Yeah.
we're in control. On a second, can you imagine a world where we're not in control and everyone goes, oh no, no, that couldn't possibly happen. So
Yeah.
but if you let those go, and again, I'm going to say this word in a controlled way, right? Let it go in a controlled way. There's a control thing again. But the possibilities are endless then, isn't it? Because then we get away from content creation. I'm doing myself out of a job here. We get away from content creation. We start talking to like something like Gemini and go, oh, I'm doing this job. Give me the answer. And then you imagine a world where 10 years ago, Apple and Google were ahead of the game doing Google Glasses. But if you had something like that, anything is possible then, because you've like, show me like that
Mm.
scenario with a car. I'm working on the car. I've got a just in time requirement to go, how do I change the oil filter? How do I change the air filter? I've never done it before. Oh, let me show you. Jesus Christ, I've done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the workplace, like, show me this. Oh, okay. I'll overlay it then. This is how you do it. Right, bang, done. What, like, if you said to any exec, like, can have, like, we don't need formal training anymore. You haven't got to send people away on training. They just do it. It just happens literally in as they're doing the work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's bring it back and kind of, I guess, thinking. kind of use cases or like, yeah, look, goodness knows where AI will actually go and what impact that will have on us as a human race. That's big, big, big picture stuff. For now, I think in our little digital learning bubble, how it's going to impact us is I think there is going to be hopefully the need to kind of bring back more personalized learning, like you said. And that's something we've always been strongly focused on about the user, how they're the superstars. And I think obviously this year it's been just kind of getting stuff done and out the box, where next year, hopefully, yeah, a lot more personal stuff, a lot more creative stuff, I'd like to think, especially from our point of view. But again, utilizing AI to create it, but having humans kind of thinking about how we can do it and how we can make it fun.
Are there any AI tools that can create videos on the fly? So you could say, "Oh, I'm interested in a video. I'm interested in learning about, I don't know,
Not yet.
turntables." Like, and then there's just a just in time immediate response to go, "Oh, let me tell you about turntables," and it's sort of narrated and
Yeah, that's what I brought up earlier was the potential, which I'm sure it's going to happen. I mean, again, you got to think about the processing power
yeah,
to do it at speed. But yeah, I mean, you could technically do it now by just typing the right kind of prompt.
yeah,
I mean, it's not great, I don't think, at animating stuff yet in terms of the classic 2D flat illustrative style animation. Obviously, it can replicate real world stuff fairly well and kind of hyper realistic or 3D modeled things. But in terms of like an explainer video, I mean, that's definitely on the list of something I'd like to try. See if you can create a nice animated explainer video utilizing AI by just giving it the information as a prompt, going, look, this information on, I don't know what you said, turkeys? I don't know. It's certainly
turntables, not turkeys.
turntables. Turkeys is Christmas. I don't know.
Ho ho
Here's
ho.
this information. Turn
Yeah,
it, or like fire safety, turn this into a little animated explainer. It's got to be a minute long, include a narration, and then all the other stuff. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
because
I
that,
think that would be an interesting experiment to see what it kicks out.
yeah, and then that would be the start of it. But the next level down to that personalized learning is if I then watch that initial generic explainer and then said, "Oh, tell me about the colors." Like it's got this dynamic processing built in that you said to it, "Oh, tell me about the colors of the fire extinguisher,"
Yeah.
and then it
In more
based
detail
on
on that
yeah,
subject matter.
based
I'm
on that,
interested
it
in
then
that.
goes, "Oh, let me
Yeah.
tell you about that," and that would be because actually, if you just hooked in Gemini into that explainer video to go, oh, if you know, that would be the solution, wouldn't it? You're like having a conversation with AI and it's telling you. But then the next level to that is based on that voice question, you then get a tailored video response at the time of asking that question. So a bit like what Gemini is doing at the minute, but it's creating a video as well in the background
Mm.
from stock it, might be stock images or stock footage of the colors of a fire extinguisher, and then you go, all right, so how does that little pin work then? What button do I press to it? And then based on that, it's then going, oh, let me show you a video on this, let me show it. Like
Yeah, how to
that's
operate it. This will be
that's
interesting.
true
Yeah.
personalization, because you might not ask those questions. You might say,
Yeah.
oh, thanks for the explainer. I've used one of them in the past. Thanks very much. I might ask a question. So nobody is generating that content other than AI based on the voice cue that you're giving it.
I like the
That'd be
sound.
amazing.
Yeah. And again, because that sounds more like a human conversation, again, you'd have. with someone. If someone's showing you fire safety, you'd be like, "Oh, wait a minute, can you tell me more about that?" And
Yeah. Yeah.
we've touched on it before, I think, in a previous conversation where we've talked about kind of, what do we say it was? Was it deep diving, or like we talk about you go down like a YouTube hole or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Like a
version
learning rabbit
like
hole.
a
Yeah.
learning rabbit hole. That was it we talked about, because I mean, personally, it's so much more engaging if I get to choose or look into stuff that I'm interested in. And I mean, I'd love to, I mean, that's something where you and I should sit down and think about how we can do this, but have the kind of general learning that needs to be done, the overview
Yeah.
of, this is fire safety, this is what you need to do in the office, fire exit extinguisher, that. And then it's like, okay, well, I want to look more about fire extinguishers. What does that do? And everything like that, and just be able to deep dive into that and learn more, or the same about fire exits and the right things to do. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because I,
there'd be more suitable subject matter than fire safety, but
no,
that
no, no, but it's relatable, isn't it? And that, but this is proving a point here, actually. So humans are, like, I'm going to get berated for this, but humans are simple creatures, right? I'm a human. I'm a simple thing. So what I work best at is if there's a thumbnail and a few prompts. And so if actually in the future, digital learning teams are creating a thumbnail and that first 30 seconds to start the prompts, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Because you know that those thumbnails are things like, GDPR, fire safety, health and safety, ergonomic working, so they're the thumbnails. And you dress them as much as you can. You click on the thumbnail, you get that 30-second generic, you know, this is what you need to do every year. And then it suggests a few prompts that you might want to know. That's the level of bespoke digital learning. The rest is really personalized based on the feedback, the interaction with that. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like it'd
would be
kill
great.
our business overnight, but well, we'd have to
Well, unless
diversify
we're the
into
ones
how
that
do we
make
put
it.
that together?
We make it, Caleb. So let's
I,
go away,
well,
create this learning before anyone else does.
yeah, yeah. But
And
then
yeah,
that is like, so then you've just got what thumbnails and what introductions, what exciting trailers. That's the thing, isn't it? What gets someone excited? So we're creating thumbnails and 30-second trailers for one of the subjects is fire safety. Sells the idea of the fire safety, but then it allows the learner to really personalize either deep dive or exit out. No, I've got enough, and then the prompt might say, are you sure? Do you know what colors they are? Do you know how to use it? Do you know where your safety exits are? And it's purely dynamic. Oh, wow. I think we're creating something in the flow of our thoughts.
we are. And I'm just seeing, because it wasn't, I know this is silly, I shouldn't. Thrive. Does that, yeah, that's it. Thrive's got Kiki, the AI assistant.
But
Uh, it
doesn't
doesn't,
that search for content based
yeah,
on the platform? So that is
doesn't
like a
create
search
content.
engine,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
closed search engine on that
Yeah.
platform. But
Yeah.
what it doesn't do is create dynamic content based on the conversations you're having. And that's the piece that's missing.
Yeah.
That's the next development, isn't it? If you could say to a business, do you know what? All that budget that you spent last year on creating bespoke digital learning, we can create 30-second excitement pieces that get people excited, and then the rest is a conversation between the person learning and an AI model to give you
Mm,
the right information. And that information could be text-based, graphic, video, conversation,
yeah.
however that learner chooses.
And going back kind of full circle, until we get to that point, because I definitely think this would happen come in the future.
Yeah.
Not next year. Next
But
year,
with it,
soon, yeah, probably. But it's going in the direction of bespoke personal learning, and that's what matters. And in the meantime, I'm hoping the recognition of that will grow next year, but we'll still be utilizing people to create that.
yeah.
AI as a tool to help create things, but ultimately people to come up with it, create it, share it, and make these courses. And I think it will start stepping away from out of the box solutions for wide teams. It's hopefully going to be more tailored to individuals, or at least the exact users that will be looking at it,
I was just trying to think of that.
and what we've always focused on. So,
I mean, there's a couple of films that stick in my mind. Actually, is I Robot, which has got something similar to that, and then there was an old film that Sylvester Stallone was in, and it was like a future one. I'm sure it was Sylvester Stallone. Demolition Man, maybe.
uh, yeah,
Where and like,
weird thing they had.
well,
Remember,
but it
Least,
used so it used to be like in those films that you'd come in and I mean the other one is Blade Runner, where you come in the house and you talk to your personal assistant, turns the lights on, turns the telly on, which is like Alexa now. Like, hello, Alexa's going. What it doesn't show is that, like, if you said, I've just seen X, like, show me a video on that. It shows you sort of YouTube clips, but it's now like this is exciting. We've got the capability somewhere to go, I'm just going to create this video for you and tailor it. That's what we need. I keep
yeah,
going on about this, but that's like, it's a penny drop, isn't it? It's like, that is easy. It's just connecting all the dots.
yeah, and it's going to go through the same cycle. I think is what we're finding with everything is that this will happen. The results it will give will be awful, but it will get better and better and better. Um,
So what do we need to do?
ask AI how to build.
I mean, we can't be the only ones who are thinking this.
Uh, I we I don't know. We've like I keep on saying, our mindset in the learning industry has always been about the user and bespoke content, while others have mainly focused on kind of out the box, get it done.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we are. I mean, yeah, there'll probably be some other people who are having this idea, but I don't know. Like, yeah,
Because
but so focused on the learning and the user, less about just kind of getting
yeah,
stuff out in the products and the sales.
yeah. But because of the limitations of systems and platforms, but general
That's the big
technologies,
headache, is the link between platforms and the learning.
yeah, and the person, and those lines are blurring more and more every week, every month now. It's getting closer and closer to go, this is possible, and people understand the coding necessary, or AI understands the coding necessary to make that happen. Because even when we think, right, we stepped away from off-the-shelf standard content, we've gone down a bespoke route. But at a point, you could argue that bespoke content is generic to everyone in that organization. It looks beautiful, it works beautiful, it resonates with the heart. But if you're in an organization of 10,000 people, 10,000 people are going to see the same content. What we're saying is those 10,000 people in an ideal world see 10,000 different versions of that. Now, if someone at the minute, if you said to a digital learning company, I want everyone to have a different experience, they'd say, my God, have you got a budget for it then? Because that is just not possible. And that's what we're saying. It is possible. We just need to join the dots up,
Yeah.
because anything, like, you think at the minute, If you put a prompt into Nano Banana, you get a different version of an image, even using the same prompt as someone next to you. So it's absolutely possible. We're saying we want to leverage the same stuff, but in a learning environment.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
No, as I say, how good it is at the moment, don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, possibly even next, like you said, 5 years time, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be
Yeah.
surprised it wasn't existing.
Yeah.
Next year, we might start seeing things in it. I think the difficulty is, like I mentioned before, the link between LMSs and content authoring systems and whatever,
Yeah.
because they're all closed off. They don't want to play with each other. So we would
Do
have
you think,
to if we're talking about doing this, Caleb, we're
well,
we're gonna have to come up with a full solution, I think, of platforms and
and some of that is the like the guardrails or the framework that organizations have. So quite rightly, organizations want to protect their intellectual property. So that's the reason why some of the systems are closed, because they want to protect its security and intellectual property. So allowing systems to go out and just get generic stuff. And then we'll always have the questions. Well, how do we know it's 100% trustworthy? So we can tailor it around that, because those AI models are being I was going to use the wrong word there. They're being tailored at the minute to say what's right and wrong. Because if you try and have a conversation again with some models, it'll say, "Don't use profanity. Please don't use that, and I won't engage any further." So you can put those rails around it already. So is it believable? Is it credible? And then we've got institutions that build their business model around it's got to contain these things. So you think about crediting bodies, they'll say, show me the overview, show me the synopsis. Well, the concept of you saying there isn't one, it's based on humans interacting at that particular point. They'll go, well, we can't award anything on that. That just doesn't work for us. We need to see a synopsis, a syllabus, whatever it might be. But those models have
you
got to
know
be
what,
eroded,
where it
haven't
is
they?
about awards, isn't it? Like, they've invented themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
Then you
quite.
got to pay to get such an award,
Yes.
and they've done pretty well. So that's the other thing we can do, the Mind Boost Awards. The 100 quid you got to apply, and then we'll judge it, and if we deem it great learning, get the
We'll
badge.
use AI
There you
to go,
go.
is this worthy?
Yeah. Hey, I got a Mind Boost badge.
Yeah.
Only cost me 100 quid.
I'm really proud of it.
Yeah,
I
put that on your
I
LinkedIn.
I know. Yeah, everyone will be wanting one.
Yeah,
Woohoo! How do I
and
get
then
one? But, it's really interesting, isn't it, when you think about how companies have got, like, they're institutionalized, they're built on this heritage and the foundations. Like, how will they cope with the future when the future is messy and dynamic,
yeah,
rather than, oh, this is it, I mean, you think of banking institutions at the minute, the idea of, crypto and how data exchanges are either embracing it or they're, bricking themselves about it. But, it's no different in any of this, is it? It's like, hold on a second, how that's going to affect my business model. Yeah, your business model is based on something like when we used to talk about 100 years ago. We're going to say your business model is outdated. It's over 10 years old now. It's
oh
over
yeah,
5 years old. It's like you've
yeah,
got to keep up.
yeah. You got to keep up rapidly, and yeah, that's what we're noticing. That's what I'm noticing. Times are moving very fast, but it's exciting,
I,
and yeah, I'm interested to see where next year goes. Watch this space. We're going to start the Mind Boost Awards, and soon we will create fully AI digital learning.
I think that's a challenge to us, right? How do we get to a place where, like, let's set the benchmark in a business of 10,000 people? How do we create a piece of learning that's different for all of those 10,000 people, that
This,
connects with them individually? That's
yeah,
got, and it's achievable. It's got to
yeah,
be low cost. It's got to be scalable. 10,000 is just a starting point, because actually, if you've got a business of 300,000, it's got to be tailored to each of those. That's
Mm.
when you can say personalized learning cracked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Hey,
Yeah.
I've
Good to do.
I've so enjoyed this conversation. I love a bit of
Oh,
future
always.
gazing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's always interesting seeing where it goes, especially.
Wow. Well, on that note, thank
Yeah,
you so much. I mean,
thank you.
like, I'm sure when we do another one of these, we'd have sat around watching Christmas films and stuffing our bellies full of chocolate and booze.
Well, that's it. Well, yeah, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, and, yeah, let's see what 2026 brings us.
Yay!
Cool.